Hi everyone, TSW here. In this video I'm just going to go over some of the Warrior changes for Titan Reforged servers. Now, quick TLDR, if you don't know what the Titan Reforged servers are, these are Chinese only servers, and I'm recording this first thing in the morning just because this is interesting and I've got a busy day today, so I'm not going to be able to play WoW or make any videos, but I just want to get this out because it's quite timely and very cool. So I'm not playing on the Chinese servers because TBC is coming soon and I want to focus on leveling alts and get everything ready, but I suppose maybe in the future I maybe could play Titan Reforged. Anyway, what are your thoughts on Titan Reforged, and should I play it? Is there a big English speaking presence on the Chinese Titan Forge server? Because I'm very interested, and one of the first classes to get some updates are the Protection Warrior. So let's go through this and I will share my thoughts. So, Protection Warrior adjustments in the time realms following the weekly maintenance of December 11th. Protection Warrior skills and talents update. Defensive stance now reduces damage taken when hit by 13%, up from 10%. So this is a nice little buff. Just reduces the damage that you take so that you are tankier. This is great. Obviously leads to less need to be healed and just more survivability. This is overall a reasonable buff. 3% less damage taken. It's reasonable. I like it. It's good. It just makes you that much tankier and more viable. All of this increases your viability as a Prot Warrior, which is exactly what you need. Let's keep going because that's quite a basic change. Shockwave now generates 185% of its damage as threat, up from 100%. So you're getting 85% more threat from the damage it deals, which I think is not... It's one of the less necessary buffs, I would say. I never struggled with AoE threat in Wrath of the Lich King for what I can remember. I only played Ulduar phase and phase 1 in Wrath of the Lich King Classic, so maybe at the higher end gear, or sorry, later phases when you have higher end phase gear. Was threat ever a concern for, like, all AoE tanks had an easier job, but maybe this is just to get you level pegging with the other classes in terms of AoE. I'm thinking more so Death Knight and Paladin. Druids, I felt like they were just in the warrior position, but well, I'm wondering if this AoE threat buff is maybe going to, well, I feel like it leaves Druids maybe at the back. Or, well, I mean, Warriors might still be the worst, but I'm thinking maybe 10-mans or like 5-mans. There might be something, so they're trying to get all the Warriors up a little bit in terms of their threat for maybe mechanics changes going forward. We'll see, but generally, I wasn't ever, thinking that Warriors needed a buff to their AoE. It's nice that it's Shockwave, and it's nice that it's threat from Shockwave and not a damage increase or something, because I don't think the damage is necessary and it would affect PvP. So thinking of PvP, some of these buffs do translate into PvP. Okay, so let's keep going on. Vigilance no longer reduces the threat generated by the guarded target if the target is in a tanking stance. So Vigilance will transfer 10% threat from one target to the other. Let's find Vigilance. So it reduces damage by 3% and transfers 15% threat. Oh my god, it's more than I thought it was. Sorry. So it's 15% threat from one target to the other, but it doesn't actually reduce the threat if you use it on someone in a tanking stance, like Frost Presence, Defensive Stance, Bear, Dire Bear, Righteous Fury, Paladin. So that's a nice buff. So that doesn't impact the warrior so much, but it obviously impacts the tank that it's on, because a lot of the time you're wanting to have the reduced damage element of the target by 3%, more so than the threat transfer. So you will often, but I suppose it makes warrior, it's like 2 warrior more because I don't think any of these classes besides warrior would really care about losing the 15% threat as much as the warrior. So I mean, I don't think you're ever going to run 2 warrior tanks, but if the buffs keep coming, you never know. But yeah, it's to just make Vigilance more usable, make it a bit more viable. That's the word I'm looking for. So there's no penalty when using a tank, because most of the time you were just doing it on the top damage or the top threat player, DPS generally speaking. But now you can put it on a tank and just get free threat, assuming that that other tank is pressing their buttons and doing a good amount of threat. So that's very good. So it makes every tank that you're playing with stronger by having them take less damage. So coincidentally, it's 3% damage taken, which is the same as the warrior's 3% reduced damage taken from defensive stance. So if you're playing a tank that isn't a Prot Warrior and you're not getting the Vigilance, your warriors got that 3% reduced damage, 3% reduced damage taken, and you are potentially missing out on that. Okay, let's keep going. Focus Rage has been updated with additional effects. So Focus Rage is this one. Focus Rage reduces the cost of offensive abilities by 1, which is almost every ability, and you can use it 3 times to reduce the rage by 3. During Focus Rage has updated with additional abilities. So on top of the 3 rage, it can reduce your offensive abilities by. During Enraged Regeneration. So these tooltips are just going to be huge. Like, this is going to add so much more stuff to the talents, which is clunky, but it also is elegant in the way that they're not adding additional things and messing up. They're just adding extras into already basically mandatory talents. So it becomes more of a passive, more of a it's not a nice to have, it's a free buff, basically. It's almost like a tank passive at this point, because you're always basically going to have Focused Rage. Okay, so in addition to the Focused Rage effects, you will get so it's so bizarre, like on top of the rage reduction, you also get during Enraged Regeneration, like a completely different ability that you learn from the trainer. I mean, it's going to be clunky, but I guess we'll get used to it. During Enraged Regeneration, you additionally restore 5, 10, 15% of your maximum HP. So that's a nice buff. Enraged Regeneration is it 30, 35? Something along those lines. It's 30. So 30% of your total HP over 10 seconds. This ability requires Enrage effect, consumes all Enrage effects, and prevents any from affecting you for the full duration of 3-minute cooldown. Learned at level 75. Okay. So addition, it's 5, 10, 15%. So that's going to be, by my maths, 45% HP, which is a lot. But in addition to that, we get Enraged Regeneration no longer consumes Enrage. So your 10% buff from tanking, basically, being hit by mobs, is going to remain. So that's a threat dip that you won't see. Not that I ever really noticed losing Enrage for the short duration of Enraged Regeneration, 10 seconds. And no longer prevents gained Enrage while active. So you're just going to keep Enrage and be able to get Enrage if you're not Enraged during the duration. 33, 67, 100% of overhealing from Enraged Regeneration is converted into an Absorption Shield lasting 15 seconds. Now this is very cool. I like this. This is one of the more interesting buffs out of all of these 3. This is the one that interests me most. So you could use it almost preemptively, well, you could use it preemptively and get that shield, which is pretty cool. Like, it's means that tanking Algalon becomes more viable, although 3-minute cooldown. And yeah, I mean, that's pretty cool. As well as in your 5-mans or soloing, you're going to be way stronger. Being able to have something that you can... Like, this is pivotal in low healing situations. A shield for, but again, I imagine that the shield will only last 10 seconds. So it's not like you can just pop it and then pull half the dungeon and then you're good to go. Although, you know, Shockwave, shield wall, shield block, you know, you can last a long time in Wrath of the Lich King, 5-mans at least, when you can stun stuff. Anyway, keep going. Yeah, no one cares about 5-mans. Vitality has been improved and now includes a cheat death effect. So vitality is one of these ones. I can't remember which one it is. This one. So this increases your strength by 2% and stamina by 3% and expertise by 2%. And you can get 3 stacks. So that's strength by 6%, stamina by 10%, and expertise by 6%. 6. Stamina increased by 4%, 8%, 12%. So that's a 3% buff to stamina. Nice. And a 3% buff to strength, also nice, but the stamina is what we care most about. So that will be a threat increase from the strength, but most importantly for tanking, a 3% increase to stamina, which is very good. Yeah, like a higher multiplier for stamina, so you're just going to have a bigger health pool always, which is very consistent. What's this? And now includes a cheat death effect. What? The original Warbringer talent has been replaced with a new talent, War Chief. Vitality. So it says vitality has been improved and now includes a cheat death effect. So there's the strength, there's the stamina, but then it's Warbringer that includes what? What's the cheat death effect? Anyway, I'll keep reading on. The original Warbringer talent has been replaced with a new talent, War Chief. War Chief retains the original passive effects of Warbringer and grants access to Rallying Cry. So Warbringer is the one that lets us use Charge, Intercept, Intervene. Abilities are usable in combat and any stance. In addition, your Intervene ability will remove all movement impairing effects. In addition, it's now called War Chief and retains blah blah and grants access to Rallying Cry. So again, it's a clunky tooltip, but whatever, we'll get over what it says as the tooltip. It's only confusing like the first time you read it maybe. Rallying Cry temporarily increases the maximum health of you and all party or raid members within 30 yards by 20% for 10 seconds. When the effect ends, health is removed. Again, it's another thing to help you on fights like Algalon, and it's just like a raid-wide cooldown. So they're really pulling out all the stops. I mean, could they do more for Warrior? Technically, yes, but I think this is a really good gauge to see how people are reacting and playing Warrior. I don't know the cheat death effect. Is it going to be the same as the Paladins? Doesn't really expand on that. What does this say? Developer note. We hope to restore the strength and prestige of one of the most iconic specialization designs in the history of World of Warcraft. Providing multiple viable options within the same role will contribute to healthier, more diverse, and more prosperous game environment. I mean, this definitely has me more excited to play Warrior. But unfortunately, currently, I'm not playing on the Chinese Titan servers. But this definitely gives me a good reason to try. Also, you know, like it says here, it just fleshes out the build. It makes it more viable. Yeah, I mean, in terms of PvP, it's definitely going to make changes. I don't think that many people played Protection PvP in Classic. I don't really know. I didn't really play PvP in Classic. But I know in retail, Wrath of the Lich King, PvP had its moment as Prot Warrior. I did play a little bit of that, but that was a while ago, so I don't think it's very relevant. But yes, I mean, the Rallying Cry is great. I mean, you have a raid cooldown, which is useful, okay? And selfishly for the Warrior, you should be able to use this for 20% extra health, and then towards the end of the duration of 10 seconds or whenever, you can use Last Stand and then double dip from that HP. So you'll, what's the term people use? when you're casting and get a proc, and then you use a spell that benefits from the proc later down the road. Snapshot. So you're basically snapshotting the Rallying Cry buff into a last stand, and the last stand will last whatever 15 seconds or whatever the last. I don't even. Is it 15 seconds? You'd like to think I know. I've not played Prot War in a little while now. 20 seconds. Pretty good. One thing I'd like is like one of the changes. Oh, did they change it in Wrath of the Lich King? I'm not sure. Is shield wall? It might be. Because one thing that annoys me most in TBC is shield wall being on the GCD. I don't know if it's going to say here. It says 0 seconds in the GCD and TBC 1.5 seconds. Oh, okay, so they did remove the GCD of shield wall, because that's just a nice thing that happened in Wrath of the Lich King anyway, which is good. Because in TBC, you know, you're 30% HP, you want to use shield wall and you can't because you're global locked. Ugh, annoys me. But it's nice that Wrath of the Lich King fixed it first time round. So yeah, I mean, I'm just yapping at this point. I think it's a good upgrade, good buff. It'll be interesting to see. I mean, the original, if you want to see this, good luck. What happens if I translate it to English? Are they going to talk about the cheat death mechanic? I don't think so, based on the amount of text here. The original God of War talent. Yeah, I mean, this translate isn't so strong. Okay. When Rage returns to activation, the next attack that would have killed you will completely... Okay, so we're missing this bit. So this bit... Can I show original? This bit. Let's try Google Translate. Hello. When Fury Regeneration is activated, the next attack that would kill you. When Fury Regeneration is activated. So which one's that? Is that Frenzy Regeneration? I don't know. When something happens. Let's try all of this. See if we get more context. Vitality, Fury Regeneration. So that's going to be Enraged Regeneration, I have to say. Enrage, yeah. Enraged Regeneration is active. The next attack that would otherwise kill you will be completely negated. What? So you could use this for just big attacks. If this is translated correctly, you know, when Algalon's doing his whatever it's called, you can just press this and take 0 damage. Press Enraged Regeneration and you take 0 damage. Is that what it's saying? Pretty good. I mean, I was excited for Enraged Regeneration to give you an absorb shield, potentially, if you're full HP. But being able to just negate one attack is also very good. I like the way that it takes a bit of skill to time it correctly. But yeah, that's cool. That's interesting. It obviously doesn't help so much in AoE situations where you're taking lots of little attacks. You know, death by 1,000 cuts or whatever the phrase is. But that's encouraging. You know, it's another buff. So yeah, all in all, interesting. I mean, it's cool. I like it. I hope that Warrior sees more play. And it's only a good thing. I mean, if you play the other specs, you might not think it's so much of a good thing, like the other tanking roles, but it's hard to say that it's not a good thing. I'm not jealous of the Chinese devs. Yep, it is a bit cringe. But again, Westerners got Season of Discovery, so you don't really have a leg to stand on. Would you have rather we didn't get Season of Discovery and Blizzard cooked for longer and made this? Yes, I think everyone probably would agree. Yes, we'd prefer to have Titan Reforged server. Anyway, this is getting out of the scope of this video. Thank you much for watching. This has just been a really quick thrown together video. I'm busy, so I've not had time to make videos, but this came up and I thought it was interesting. So if you liked it and want to see some more like higher level quality content, please subscribe, and I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye.